Good morning. Welcome to another Saturday live stream where we work pretty hard in improving our trading system, our psychology. We question our system. We really work hard to become better traders. Okay. Um, Today, instead of reviewing charts or doing any other work technically, I would like to work in myself, my belief system, my mindset, my psychology, so I can get better at executing my plan. Right? I have always thought about what I learned reading Mark Douglas's book, The Disciplined Trader and Trading in the Zone. I think those two books are one of the best books that you can use for to improve your mindset and get better at trading. There are three main pillars in trading. Those three main pillars are profitable trader plan. Number two, your execution, meaning your psychology. Okay, and number three, risk management. Those three things are three pillars that fundamentally makes you better or worse in trading. Okay, so I will do something that I don't typically do in these Hey, how are you? Trader Andre, how are you? So what I want to do today is just do a check on my personality, on my belief system that probably is holding me back to not become a professional trader. Okay, so what I will do today is I'm going to check up my own limiting beliefs that I have in trading, and I'll apply a technique that I know to try to change those beliefs. Okay, and I've checked up numerous techniques. I've learned hundreds of ways on how to change your beliefs, and I figure every person is different, and probably one of some of the techniques will help you, and some of them don't help you. What I mean is that if you apply these and these steps, you probably will get to change your beliefs. Whereas if you apply the other one, it's better for you, and so on. Okay, so I will use just one technique that I learned today, and you can apply it at home with your notepad and do it yourself to see if you can actually change your belief system and become a profitable trader. Okay, one thing that is required for any of these techniques is patience. Okay, so please start with the mindset that this is going to take a little bit of time. Why do I say that? Especially if you're an adult, and I figure if you're watching this thing, you probably are older than 7 years old. And what I've learned is that a brain of a 7-year-old up to a 7-year-old are a lot more plastic, meaning they can learn faster, okay, with very low repetition. You just tell them something, and if they believe it, then they now have that in their core belief system. Whereas if you're like 40 years old, like I am, you only change with repetition and work and time. Okay, so if you're consistent and you are patient with these techniques, then you can make it. If you are not patient, I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but it's gonna be harder for you to magically change. That ain't gonna happen, or at least it didn't happen for me. Okay. I've heard. I was watching a video this morning just to refresh all these things. That people are so desperate to change. If they're depressed, they're willing to do anything. electroshocks, take pills that are illegal, do things that are already discarded um, by clinicians nowadays, like things that are proven not safe, but they can affect you in order to change, right? Even lobotomy, I'm impressed how desperately people are to change. Okay, not only in trading. In trading is one thing, but remember, there are out there like 1 out of 4 people will experience depression at some point in their life. And I name depression because depression is something that a trader can feel at some point. I certainly have felt depression because of my trading, out of frustration, out of not making it, out of seeing myself just doing the same thing over and over again, and just be part of these vicious cycles that you think, I cannot get out of this, right? I got stuck in that thing probably for 3 years. I would say like 2.5, 3 years. So when you are in this vicious cycle, you get desperate, okay? And when you get desperate, you're not able to think. You're not able to think clearly. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So let's start to just find a definition of what is a belief, right? So a belief, for me, and you can correct me if you want. Okay. Yeah, and we can do it dynamically. Like we can talk each other on the chat and stuff and so on. But let's start by defining what is a belief, right? So a belief is no more than an acceptance of one concept, and you believe that to be true, right? Even though it might not be true, but you believe that is true. Okay, so you accept a concept. Let's say, and I was watching some videos, but for instance, it was one of my core beliefs that if I don't do hard work, I cannot make money. That was certainly one of my beliefs, right? I will have to work my ass off 12, 13, 15 hours a day, not doing anything else but work in order to make money. And the reality is that that is 100% not true. But that was in my core beliefs. I did believe that. And I had that since I was a kid, because everything I saw in my home was hard work. That doesn't mean hard work is bad 100%. Like, there's not all of it is bad. But I would say more like smart work is better, right? Where you work smart, you lever yourself, either hiring more people, sacrificing some things on your end, and then hiring people to do some things that you cannot do, and instead they can do it even better for you, and you can grow and become better, right? So that was like a summary of a how to challenge a belief system. One belief. Okay, so before I apply the technique, right? The technique is very simple, but I'll say it later. Okay, it's just a series of questions, and then another step that you have to keep doing for at least 30 days. Okay. All right, so let's start by, let me put this screen. Let me see if I can. There we go. I don't know if you guys. Okay. All right. I hope you guys can read this. Can you? Is it big enough? All right. So the first question that I want to ask myself is, what is holding me back in trading, right? This is one thing that you should be doing either in your computer or just at the same time I'm doing it, so we can get this thing done together. Like, this is not only for you, it's for myself. I really want to make this thing work for me. Okay, so here I'm gonna put at least like 14 so you guys can read. Okay, what is preventing me of being a professional trader, right? So, and you can put things like lack of discipline. Okay. Number 2, desperation. Number 3, FOMO. Number 4, and you guys can put things in the chat so I can just feed this paper. What else can we talk about here? Lack of discipline, desperation, FOMO, not accepting losses. I want to like reverse engineer what is my belief system. Okay, so this is what you want to do. You want to reverse engineer what is the core belief that is holding you back, because you might have certain belief that you think you have, but the evidence is different. So you want to start with the evidence. Okay. For instance, I build up accounts and destroy them. I build up accounts and destroy them in 1 day. Okay? Impatience. Overtrading. I'm just taking notes. Afraid to lose money. Fear. Oversizing. Hey Adam, how are you? If you really want to make this thing work, do it in parallel while I'm doing it. I certainly will try to apply this the best way I can for myself. Want to make money quick, so that is immediate gratification. Good man, glad you're here. Hope today you're well. Thank you, man. Thank you. Let's make this work, okay? I think this is the most important work that one needs to do, is a psychological part. After you have a profitable plan, you need to execute properly, and executing properly requires a mental state of strength. Okay, so you can understand that the dynamics of the market. Okay. I would say desperation. Hey Rich, how are you? What is holding me back is impatience and eagerness to recover the money lost. Okay, so that's fear, right? That's very common. Let's put greed, because greed is one of the emotions that are more palpable, like more evident among traders, right? And I certainly suffer of greed, even nowadays. Even nowadays, I do feel some greed. This is one thing that I need to work on. Overconfidence. Okay? And let me grab this book. Because overconfidence is one of my problems today. Okay? All right. So, We named a lot of things that are holding trading. Okay, lack of discipline, desperation, FOMO, not accepting losses, build up accounts and destroy them in one day. Destroy them in one day. Impatience, overtrading, fear, oversizing, immediate gratification, greed, and overconfidence. Stubborn mindset, the market will go down. Okay, so I would say keep looking for shorts and it trends all day. Okay, cool. So how can we summarize what Adam just said? I would say not being able to recognize market direction, right? And here I will put the ego, right? That I am right. I want to be right at all times. Okay. All right. So if we summarize, like I would say, like I want to put in one group. I want to put in one group whatever one of these holding, I mean, things that are holding me not to be in a good trader in one category, right? Category. So I would say like I will put discipline, FOMO, impatience, immediate gratification, not being able to recognize. I want to be right. No. Okay, so I will put these ones in one bucket, right? And I will put I follow the market sentiment had to be a lot, fear of being stepped out, and a pullback. Okay, so that's fear, Rich. So I want to put this in one bucket, and then I will try to put the rest, not the rest, but try to categorize them. I want to be right. So I want to be right. I want to be right. And then I would say greed. I'm just trying to separate them per belief, right? And we're gonna do one belief, okay? Greed, overconfidence, overconfidence, and oversizing is one of the, they're in the same bucket. Overtrading, almost like all the overs are here. Overtrading, oversizing, are these similar, right? Do you agree with me that I want to be right, greed, overconfidence, oversizing, and overtrading are similar, probably derived from the same belief system? I would say yes. Like discipline, FOMO, impatience, immediate gratification, probably another bucket, and this one are in another bucket, probably another core belief that is making you do that, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Build up accounts and destroy them in one day. I would say like it's probably here. And destroy them in one day. Not accepting losses, right? So okay. So with this, I'm gonna work in the first bucket, like discipline, FOMO, impatience, immediate gratification, build up accounts and destroy them in one day, not accepting loss. Okay, so I will call this bucket number 1. And then I will put here bucket number 2. All right. So I wanna work with bucket number 1 and say, all right, what is the core belief that that probably are causing all these things, right? And I want to ask you this question. When you are patient, right, is because you believe some outcome is going to happen, right? If you're patient, is because you know, for instance, if you are like baking a bread, right? Do you know that you have to like probably do the dough and stuff? It has a process, and then you put it in the oven, right? And you know the recipe tells you, all right, it has to be for 60 minutes in the oven. Are you gonna open up the oven at 15 minutes and check if the bread is ready? Of course not, right? So you need to, in the same way, you need to bake your bread with the time, and give it time for it to be ready. So if you're not patient, right, it's because you want results now. You want results now. Okay? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, so you want results now. Let me see if I didn't lose this thing. All right. Number 2. If you know that the bread is gonna be ready in 60 minutes, do you know that the bread is gonna be ready in 60 minutes, right? So you need to wait for the 60 minutes to be 60 minutes to pass in order for you to take the bread out of the oven, right? In the same way, if you don't have a setup there, will you take the trade? Will you take the chances to be if the trade is gonna work? If the setup is not there, same thing, right? So you become impatient. Okay, so the core belief that might be holding you back here might be, and I'll just throw things out, is that you don't believe you can make it as a trader, right? And this has too many legs. Like if you Google how many trades succeed, you will find like the vast majority of traded vast. Traders don't make it. Okay? A lot of people sees trading as gambling. And I gotta tell you, like, is in a similar way is like gambling, right? And I want to challenge all these beliefs. and why a lot of people sees trading as gambling. And let's put the belief and then we challenge them, okay? A lot of people see trading. I don't know if you have any other idea why you can feel impatience in something, like you want it now. You want that immediate gratification. You are wired to get things now, right? Like society is wired this way nowadays. Everything like you with a click of a button, you have your food, for instance, Uber Eats, Amazon, same day, and so on. Okay, so now society nowadays are wired to get things fast. Like I see my kid, she want it now and right now. Like we were a lot more patient when we were kids. Nowadays kids want things now, so society is ingraining this thing into humans. Okay, so we are being wired, we are being trained to get things now. And here are the examples, right? Uber Eats, Amazon, etc. So we think like if you get to trading, right, you buy a class, you pay $1,500 for a class, and the guy tells you, all right, you're gonna make it in 3 months if you do this and this and this. But what he doesn't tell you is that the market is random and you need to accept losses and you need to find your process and etc. Right? So nobody tells you that, but because who will sell a class, right, of $1,500, telling you that you will not make it, right? That you need to do a lot of work psychologically and do all these changes in your life to become a trader. Who will sell you a class like that? Nobody, right? So that's why people get into trading and they think is just that overnight success is a possibility, right? I think overnight success is a possibility after a few years of training and smart and hard work, right? But not without that. Okay, so for me to believe that I can make it as a trader is very important. So one of the things that I would believe is that after being trading for a few months and not being able to make it, I would believe that the stock market is rigged against me. Against me. Number 2, this is only for rich people. Number 3, I am not educated enough to succeed in trading. All these were my belief systems, right? And because what happens is when you have people that you listen to, let's say your parents, your an uncle, or some family members, or even a teacher, or people that you look that you listen to, and they tell you, all right, you won't make it, you're not smart, you can't read fast enough, you're not good at math, and you look at them, like you look up at them and you think they know better than you, then that starts to be part of you, of your core belief system. Okay, so to change that, to challenge that, I will apply this technique. And this technique is a series of questions, right? So let's say you got your core belief one of the beliefs that you want to change, that is this. I am not good enough to become a professional trader. So let's work with this one. Okay, this is very common. I think this is one thing that I might be have part of it yet. Still, I think. So let's work with this one. And I want to ask the first question. The first question is what I believe is true, right? And I want to answer this. What I believe is true. Number 2, am I 100% sure this is true, right? Number 3, what I how I how I see myself in 10 years if I keep thinking this way. Number 4, how can I become? No, the next question will be how would I be if I don't have this belief? And number 5, how do I see myself without this belief in 10 years? Okay. Okay. Sorry for my spelling is pretty bad. All right. So I want to start asking these questions to myself. I am not good enough to become a professional trader. Is what I believe is true? And ask this to yourself. Are you not good enough? Right? Because one thing with immediate gratification and desperation, all this impatience, all this bucket number 1 just falls into just one category. And for me is not trusting that you can make profits tomorrow, right? What is the fear of missing out, right? Do you want it now because you think you cannot have it tomorrow, right? And that was certainly true for me. I did think that I couldn't, that I needed to have it now because tomorrow I won't have it. If I don't have it today, I need to satisfy my eagerness and my hunger of having it today, because I don't think I could have it tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm not good enough, right? So in the same way, you feel FOMO. All right, prices are going up. I need to buy. If I don't buy it now, I won't be able to buy, right? I need to buy it now, right? Instead of just waiting for your setup. Impatience, the same thing. Immediate gratification, I want the delivery, the fast delivery. So I pay $2 more so I can get it instead of 60 minutes. I get it in 35, 40 minutes, okay? It's not even like you get it in 5 minutes. It's like from 60 minutes to like 30 minutes. Build up the account and destroy them in one day. So this is very important, right? And this is one thing that I nowadays I can be struggling with, to build up accounts, right? I patiently build up, but someday I just get desperate and I just blow everything up. Why? Because I don't think I can make a consistent profit the long term, right? That is a core belief. I am not good enough to become a professional trader. So hence, I cannot, I don't think that this is going to last 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 30 years, right? I need to have it now. Okay. So, number one, I am not good enough to become a professional trader, right? So how do you answer this question? And I will just put here, I don't have the education, right? I don't have the education. I don't know if you guys have any other suggestion here. Why do you think you're not good enough to become a professional trader? I don't have the patience. Required. What else? What else do you guys think? Undercapitalized. Actually, that is one of the 3 things that this guy tells. This guy, Adam Grimes, says that people don't make it for those 3 reasons, right? And being undercapitalized is actually not a problem, right? Actually not a problem being undercapitalized. There are funded accounts that are, you don't need too much money to become a good trader, right? I'm just challenging that. But what else? What else do you guys think? I don't have the education. I don't have the patience. I'm undercapitalized. All right. So these are reasons that will make you make you believe that you're not good enough to become a professional trader, right? So I will agree with these 3, right? Now, let's on the second question. Let's challenge that. I don't have the education, okay? So for trading, there is no education required, right? But nor education required, nor high IQ. Instead, EQ, right? Emotional intelligence. Can I achieve? I don't have a professional tools, risk models. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, that's okay. So, undercapitalized and will you say trade like the training, the proper training probably, or tools, risk models, risk controls institutional traders have. All right, let's put that let's put that on the I don't have the education. Okay, I know you referred to tools and probably like you have no access to probably a Bloomberg terminal where the news probably and rumors are circulating way before the mainstream media or I know what you mean, right? But let's put that inside. I don't have the education and tools. All right, for trading the education, no, for trading no education is required. Not high IQ. Instead EQ. Okay, so emotional intelligence is what we need, right? In trading. Okay, so what I believe is true, and am I 100% that is true? Okay, now I ask you, and I ask you this, Ashley, do you think If you don't have those tools, you are in disadvantages, right, against another people. But even though you are in disadvantage, do you think you can make profits even though you don't have those tools? If you see the chart in hindsight, right? I know in hindsight is easy, right? But if you were to have signals, right? Consistent signals, and follow your plan and execute correctly, and ideally not make any mistakes, right? Do you think you can be profitable in a trade to trade basis? I'm not saying overall, but if you see a trade, if you see the chart came down, right, and you bought in that low, right, and because you had a signal, and then you executed perfectly, could have you won that trade, right? I do think that's a possibility, right? How probable it is, that's another story. But that's me challenging the belief. So it's impossible for you to be 100% sure that if you don't have those tools and that education, you cannot make it. You don't know, right? If probably you are 90% sure, that means you are not 100% sure. So at the time that you are not 100% sure, you can challenge that belief. Even if you are a tiny bit doubtful that that belief might not be true. For instance, I heard a story on the internet that a lady couldn't find a partner, and she was telling her therapist is that all the good men are already taken. Okay? Probably in her mind that might be a belief system, but is that true? And she said yes. Then the second question is, are you 100% sure that all good men are already taken? And she was for a brief period of time she was challenged. No, probably no. Probably there are men out there that I'm not seeing, right? Probably there are some things in the chart that you're not watching, right? Probably there are some signals that you don't have. That doesn't mean they don't exist. Okay? All right. So that's a way to challenge your belief. Okay? So working the EQ, emotional intelligence, right? I don't have the patience required. Now, are you 100% sure you don't have a patience required? Find a part in your life where you are patient. If you are a parent, right, and you have kids, right, it's impossible that you have no patience. Like, it's impossible. If you have kids, you have to become patient because they scream, they cry, they have tantrums. If you're not a patient person, you cannot have kids. But if you're a parent, you can understand what a patient person is, right? That doesn't mean that you're patient in trading, right? That means is that you're not patient sometimes. So that means you're not 100% sure that you are not patient. Okay? So every person is patient in some area of their life. All right? And number 3, undercapitalized. This is the easy one. Funded accounts. If you have the talent, anyone will, not the talent, if you have the skill, anyone will give you money to trade. All right. All right. So let's keep going here. How do I see myself in 10 years if I keep thinking this way? Okay. And instead of me answering this question, I want to teach you one thing that I learned from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. And he called this the failure pre-mortem speech. Okay? So the way this works, instead of, I'm going to skip this question, right? And this is me just doing my own thing here, right? I want to teach you instead of this, right? And instead of, I don't have this belief. Okay, yes. Okay, instead of me doing this one, I'm going to teach you the failure pre-mortem, right? Speech. So the failure pre-mortem, what it does is that it's a quick exercise, right? Where you write a speech just to a group of people telling them why you failed in trading in the future, right? So this is the same thing as me asking this question. How do I see myself in 10 years or whatever amount of time that you want to put if I keep thinking this way, right? So in the same way, here you just write, it's a quick exercise to notice what is holding you back, right? Because you are giving a speech to a group of people telling them why you failed in trading. I don't know if you guys follow me. James Clear, the author of the Atomic Habits, came up with this idea, right? So you can say it's 6 months from now, or it's a year, or it is 2 years. You put the time, right? So the way it works is that you imagine that you failed to achieve your important goal, meaning you didn't become a professional trader, right? So you wrote the story of how it happened and what caused it to fail. Okay? So I'm gonna put this with a higher font. So you can read it. And this is me. This is real. I haven't checked this. This is me October 30th of 2020 writing this thing. Okay? So I'm gonna be completely honest. Here we are September 1st, 2022. And I want to tell my story about trading and how I completely failed to achieve my goals, financially and economically, right? You picture yourself in front of a group of people just telling them your experience about trading. Let's say you wrote a book, why you failed in trading, and why all the things that happened to you, right? Telling the story, right? And this speech will help you to understand why you failed. Okay? So the year started very well, and although I was making money, I made money taking huge amount of risks, right? And with no systematic approach towards the market. Okay? Every day I will risk something like a range of 5 to 10K in order to make 2 to 5K, right? Risk and reward ratio inverted. And this got me very excited up to the point where I was up in the account $50,000. After those $50,000, I hit a day when I lost $40,000. This is 100% sure, guys, okay? Because I could not recoup from those 10K loss, I simply destroyed my account, okay? The week after, I ended up blowing my account in one day. After that, I put together a plan to try to make it back and flourish as a trader once and for all. But after a few weeks following the plan, I ended up breaking the rules and engaged in trades out of desperation and frustration. I did never achieve my goal of being a process-based trader. I always see something to make a trade, parenthesis, a bad trade, and lose money. So after 6 long months watching my process, I can point some of the things I did wrong. Number 1, never worked hard enough in changing my identity, right? Meaning challenging my belief system. Number 2, never worked to dedicate the time to fall in love with the process instead of the money. Number 3, every time I lost the trade meant hell for me and immediately had to be in the market again to satisfy my eagerness of trading. Okay? Number 4, never worked hard enough in understanding what the markets are trying to do during the day. This is technically, okay? This is the one that I think Adam was asking. All right, if the market is going up, I keep shorting, right? I never did the work just to understand the dynamics of the market. Number 5, I never put the real effort in the process instead of the trading results, meaning was paying attention to the money. I weighted a lot more the money. Okay, the money was something that was more important for me than the process. Okay, so you can see how you can create this speech, the failure pre-mortem, and you will get to a lot of clues of what is going on in your trading. Okay, so you can change them. All right, so after you do this, you become aware that if you don't change these things, right, you already know you're doomed to fail. Okay, you need to change these things. Okay, how would I be if I don't have this belief system, this belief? Okay, so number 1, I don't have the education and tools for trading. No education. Okay, I will understand that if I don't take a trade today or didn't make money today, I can make it tomorrow. Because I believe I can become a professional trader. Why? Because there's no trading education that is required, right? So what I need to do instead of becoming more intelligent is become more emotionally intelligent, okay? And that you can train yourself to do that, okay? You don't need to go to an Ivy League university to become a trader, right? Is whatever you saw here, the failure pre-mortem, this is me, okay? And here we are doing a collection of options that people just named in the chat. That's for you, Expo Lane. All right, so every patient is patient in some area of their life, right? So I will think in the process and becoming better and better every day, right? After I become better and better every day, money will follow. No worries, Ashley. I don't do it only for you guys. I do it for myself. I think this is very beneficial for me. Will follow. Okay? So I'm just doing this. It's futile if you don't do it for yourself. This is going to work for myself. If you want it to work for you, you got to do it yourself. Okay. It doesn't have to be the same structure. But I mean, the essence of the work is this. Okay. You can look up on internet any other techniques. Okay. All right. I would think the process become better and better every day. Money will follow. How money will follow? Growing, and I've said that in my live stream. Growing in trading, technically, it's easy. It's very easy. You add 1 0, right? So how do you make more money in trading? You go up in size, right? Technically, that's very easy, right? So that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? The bad thing is that if you're desperate, you can go up in size and dig yourself a bigger hole, right? And stay in that hole. But if you're a good trader and you are already profitable and you want to grow, what you need to grow also is your tolerance to losses, right? Instead of risking $500, now you're risking $1,500, right? But that's here. That have nothing to do with the market, nor your computer, nor your system. Nothing is here. Okay? So if you're able to change here, and I'll tell you what, you are the only one who can change. You are the only one who can improve it. Nor your family, nor your friend, nor your therapist, is you. Right? So if you're able to change here, then you can, instead of risking $500 per trade, you can start risking $1,500. But you need to be ready mentally and emotionally. Okay? So why is that an advantage? Because if you're better, you can risk more money and being able to handle the losses. Okay? Okay, so patient in some area of their life. Okay, money will follow. Okay, cool. So if you're patient in any other area of your life, and I bet you whatever you want that you are patient. I gave the example of being a parent. If you are a parent, you have to be patient. You have to be a little bit of traces of patience. Okay? It's not you are 100% impatient, right? So you can translate that trait from parenthood. Let's say that's one example, because that's for me an example. But if you are not a parent, but you you're a younger person and you don't have kids, but you do something else, a sport or any other discipline that you're patient, then you can translate that to trading. Okay. I know that in this chat there's a musician, and I bet that it took some time for him to learn how to play the guitar, right? In the same way, you need to practice and take your time to learn how to trade. It's not an overnight process. Even though most people out there try to sell you a class for $2,000, telling you that you will become a professional trader in 6 months, paying $1,500, because if they say the opposite, if they tell you the truth, they won't sell the class. They won't sell you a class for $1,500 and make you believe that you can make it when it's not true. Okay. All right. Funded accounts. I am undercapitalized. We know already from the question that am I 100% sure this is true? You know that there are funded accounts and there are eager investors to find traders that can make something in excess of 10-20% a year. That's not hard if you use leverage, right? And especially nowadays that we're in a bear market. Okay. Given that it takes time to trade, it's best to do paper trading because you're going to blow a lot of money in the process. Yes, yes, paper trading is necessary at the beginning, right? For quite some time until you develop a trading system. But after that, I will encourage people to go to real money, because it's a completely different game. All right. Funded accounts. If I don't have this belief, I can have multiple funded accounts and lever myself up to the point that I make the money that I have dreamed of. Okay. All right. How do I see myself without this belief in 10 years? Being a professional trader, making tons of money, being happy, because I do what I love. Okay, and this is very important. This has been one of my obsessions. My obsessions is to be happy and to be happy in the process. Okay, so trading can be very frustrating at the beginning, and everything summarizes in expectations. Okay, so in anything, I'm not only in trading, but let's say I want to become a baseball player, right? I don't play baseball. I love the sport, but I don't know how to play it. Okay. And probably I have in my core belief system that I cannot play baseball because I suck at it, right? And I even tried as a kid, but I was bored. I didn't like it. But now as an adult, I like the sport, so I would like to learn it, right? One thing that I would do if I want to become a baseball player, not professional, obviously, because of my age and so on, but I will start, challenging those belief system and say, all right, if I want to be a baseball player, what should I do? First thing, I need to get rid of this belief system that I have that I cannot do it, right? Like I said at the beginning of my statement, I was bored as hell when I was a kid and I didn't like it. But now I like it. How do I do that? Well, I changed my belief system and adapt myself mentally and emotionally to become better at whatever discipline that I want to do. One thing, there's a book called The Happiness Hypothesis. I forget the author. But the book is called The Happiness Hypothesis is back here. That book taught me that happiness is in the process. Okay? I know a lot of you guys are having challenges in trading and you lose money and you are in this vicious cycle and that you think you cannot improve and you cannot get out of it. But I know that unhappiness that trading brings, right? That stress that every day you have in day trading, there are a few things. I would dare to say there are two things, right? Number one, the attachment to the money. Obviously, you want to make money. So you while you're trading, you're watching your P&L. And that's one mistake that I try to change along my trading career, not watching my P&L when I'm trading, but watching the trade. And number two, focusing in the process. So the process is something beautiful, not only because you will improve your trading, but number two, because it brings you happiness, right? And when you are trading, and let's say you won a trade, you lost a trade, and then you're pissed off. Oh my God, you think that the world is gonna end, that you're gonna have to get another job and get back to work for someone else, and all the stories that everyone just think every time you lose a trade, right? But instead of you thinking about that money that you lost, you think about, all right, now I made this and this mistake, right? I'm going to pay attention to what I did and what I can do in the future so I don't make the same mistake, right? So that's the starting point. And then you start collecting data on your trading. Oh, thank you. Jonathan Haidt. Yes, that's the one. Very good. It's a very good book. So I don't want to lose my idea. Okay, so when you start watching your trading, then next day you have the same setup, right? Let's say a couple of days after you took that losing trade, you have the same setup, but this time now you have these and these aligned. For instance, ADD and the tick chart are aligned. So you are going to take the trade, right? And then that ends up being a winning trade. Now there, you are really changing your belief system, right? Now there, you start thinking, wow, if I pay attention to this, to the process, I can start taking good trades, right? And you will have a relapse. That was my process. That doesn't mean it's yours, but in my case, I did have several relapses. But I didn't lose my north. I was always trying to improve my process. And even today, I screwed up. Even nowadays, I still screw up, make mistake, take trades that shouldn't have been taken, right? Now, have I improved along this period of 2 years? Immensely, like a lot. Like I don't overtrade in a sense that I'm very thorough to try to choose the best trade. Okay, high expectancy, high probability trade. In the same way, you can after you have your process set and you focus on your process, then you start winning trades, that your belief system starts to change. Now, you need to be resilient enough, right? And you need to be patient enough to give time for the repetition to affect you. I'm going to repeat that. You need to be patient enough and resilient enough in order for the repetition to do its work on you. I said at the beginning of the live stream, if you are an age from 0 to 7, you can become a professional trader and have all the belief system that is required to trade. But if you started trading 25 or older, then you will need to challenge yourself. You will need to change yourself in order to become a trader. Not to learn how to trade. No, to become a trader. Because a lot of emotions will arise every time you're trading, because you're losing money and you're putting money on the line. Okay, instead of you feeding your family or paying your rent, you're risking money here, real money, that is gonna go to a big pool of sharks that have a lot more money to you for a lot more money than you, but they're taking all your money, right? Look how that belief system kicks in. Market is rigged, right? Look what I said. Market is rigged. They want to take all my money, right? Is that right? Absolutely not. It's completely random, right? Nobody is watching you through the camera like you're watching me. Yes, there are algorithms that they're fighting each other to hit your stop and so on. Yes, but I'll tell you, they eat themselves more than they try to eat you. Yeah. Okay. Explain. I think the majority of traders, we just experience the same thing. Okay. I wanted to do this first for myself, and second because a lot of people are in need of becoming aware that even though they think they cannot make it, they can make it. They won't make it, and I'll tell you why. The statistics are there, right? I am preparing a video about technical analysis, and the statistics are not encouraging. That's true. But I'll tell you, probably 10% of the people are willing to do this work, investing 2, 3, 5 hours of their time just doing this very boring thing. But I've gotten to believe, and this is a belief that I have right now, not a few years ago, that if I don't do this, I cannot improve. Even after 1 year of consistency that I've had, right? I'm susceptible to any relapse. And consistent work, consistent improvement is required. You either improve or you die. You grow or you die. No. Here's the thing, Trader Andre. I did have an accountability partner, like George, my friend. We opened up this channel together, but he could work up to a point, right? He couldn't come inside my head and change me. That was on me. Even if your family tries to help you, family is very important, right? Or let's say you have a partner or a good friend that wants to help you. So accountability, I've said this, accountability is one thing that can mold you, can put you inside one let's say environment, that's the right word, where you can change over time. But if you are an adult, it'll take time and repetition. So if you see on my back, I have probably like 600 books behind me. I have 2 shelves full of books. So I didn't read before I got into trading. I didn't read at all, and especially not in English. English is not my native language. If you guys can notice, right? My spelling sucks, but I've learned a lot of English reading books. So there are two things that I got an advantage of reading. Like I could improve my English and I could learn how to trade. Then I realized, damn, this is not what I thought. This is not what they teach you. This is not buy here, sell here. No. It's your attitude, is your perspective of how to see the market, right? Because you could see one thing and I could see another, but we both can make money, right? That's a tricky thing, right? But all relies in your core belief system. Because you can take a trade and make a winner, good. But how is your setup, your mindset? Are you prepared to be the professional trader, become a professional trader, be consistently profitable over time, years? I haven't proved it yet, right? I would say I have 1 year of consistency. I want to be I don't want to be a 7-figure trader. I want to be an 8-figure trader, right? I want to make tens of millions. That is possible. It is possible. Or at least I am 100% sure, right? That is, there is a possibility of become a 8-figure trader. Do I need to prepare? Do I need to grow? Do I need to do other things? Yeah. Is going to be tomorrow, 6 months, or a year? Probably not. But if I do believe I can become a 8-figure trader, I can align my thoughts, emotions, and the third thing, the one of the most important things is my actions towards working to that. I do have a lot of mentors, but they don't know me. I don't think you need to have a mentor that you have contact with. You can learn from a lot of people without knowing them. Accountability is one thing that can speed up your process. Why? I'll tell you why. Let's say I am trading here and I was making money, right? But then I lost the trade. I So you guys hear me? Oh, sorry. So where do you guys stop me? Okay. So here's a real story. Here's a real story. I don't want to lose my idea. Okay. So here's a real story of me wanting to be and how my expectation affected me big time. While back, oof. Do you guys remember what was this last thing I said? Damn, how did this thing mute it? All right. No worries. I'm gonna say story of greed and how greed can fuck you in your trading big time, right? Okay. I was accustomed to take like you guys read in my failure pre-mortem statement. Um, I think you have accountability part in how accountability can speed up your process. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. All right. So there is not a while back. It's very short. So this is the real story. Let's say I was making $5,000 in a day. Not in a day. Let's say 10:30 in the morning or before. I had, this is a real story. I had $5,000 in profit, realized profit in my funded account with Lilu. So 2 in the afternoon comes in. We had a Fed meeting and volatility is all over the place. Markets are plus 1%, minus 1%, plus 2%, flat again, right? And I see an opportunity. So I happened to put a trade. I would say like 50% planned, right? I didn't do the thorough work, the everything aligned, the patience. No, I just tried to prove if I could make instead of 5, probably 7 or 8. Okay. Um, and then that same trade costed me like $1,500, right? So picture this: I was $5,000 up in a day. By these days, I was my trading account was very volatile. I will be minus 5 grand, plus $3,000, and then I'll stop trading, and then I build up the account that way, right? Taking huge risks, probably $10,000 negative, and then I over leveraged, I oversized my way up to probably $2,000 up. So I did that consistently for a few weeks, and I ended up building an account. But that day, I was greedy. I thought like $5,000 for that type of day when the market moved up 2%, down 2%, up 2%. I should have made 30 grand, right? Like is if I was a person that I could have made it. And the reality, in reality, my expectations were so different of what I was, right? So plus 5,000, now I'm plus 3,500, right? Now I start to feeling electricized, right? All this heat in my neck and my chest was like eating me alive. Like, damn, why did I take that fucking trade? Now my thought process is I need my 5 grand back. Okay? Few seconds passed and I put a trade. Now it's 100% not planned, right? No clue what is going to happen. No internals, no dollar, no nothing. I just want my 1,500 back now. Okay? And from being $5,000, now I'm flat. And I did the same until I was like minus $10,000. Now I have my friend. It wasn't George. He's another friend of mine. I have my friend right next to me. And he sees me, right? He sees me in desperation, right? I am minus $10,000. So I had a swing of $15,000. And he sees my desperation, but he has no authority. He has no authority over me. He's not able to shut down my computer or pull the plug and do whatever is necessary to stop my trading. Even though I'm losing $10,000, that's pretty hard, right? So here's where an accountability partner and a person can help you out big time. I ended up losing $40,000 in that account that day. It was a funded account with Lilu. I had $200,000, and from $200,000 that day, I closed it $160,000. So I did have like $10,000 more, right? But it was not only the $40,000 what damaged me, but my mental account was in negative balance after that day. And it took me at least 6 months to come back from that. It was a very, very important learning experience for myself. And that's what I put the failure pre-motoring. That's where I started to like try to get to know myself, why I did those type of things, right? That was not the first time, by the way. That was the first time it was in this amount, but that happened to me numerous times. Probably not with 40K, but probably with $3,000-$4,000, and that amount was by the time the amount that triggered me. Right at this level, I was obviously desensitized with the money. I was so unhappy. I will drive from Boynton Beach to my home feeling sad because I just made $1,500. So the lesson here is no, explain. It was a funded account. It was literally my money. There are funded there are companies, there are websites. You can Google them. I use several of them. I have funded accounts with 3 companies now. OneUpTrader, EnterTrade, and Apex. OneUpTrader, EnterTrade, and Apex. Those are the ones that I use. If you Google them, you see you pass an evaluation, right? And I don't know, it was you who put under capitalized. I think it was Ashley A. Okay, no, Ashley A. So okay, so that's not a good point for you. So you pass this evaluation, and they give you money to trade, right? Most of them is fake money, so they take the risk. They take the risk of you being a good trader, because if you're really a good trader, they're gonna have to pay you, right? Because it's real for you. It's real for the trader, probably not for them. So you don't. At the end, you don't know. Some of them are transparent in that regard. Some of them are not. I know OneUpTrader, one of the companies that I use, is legit. So when you put a trade there, it goes to the market. Some of them, no. Okay? But the point is that you get funded and you get real money to trade. For you, it's real money. Because if you make money, they have to pay you that money that you made. Right? So I did have a funded account where I was making $50,000. Right? And in one day, I basically blew it. So, so the accountability part can play a very important role shaping you as a trader. Let's say you are in that desperation. Let's say my friend saw me losing 10K and he could have the authority to stop me, meaning to throw my computer to the floor, scatter against the floor, or just pull up the plug, or just push me out of the desk. Do something. Okay? If you have a person that you can give them the authority to shape you, that's a very good advantage. They don't have to be traders. They don't have to be traders. You just need to have your computer with volume, and they just need to feel your orders, right? They just need to hear that you're placing trades over and over again without planning. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you. Right? So let's say you have your wife, right? Or your partners, or your husband, whatever. And they see you in this state of desperation in trading, where you are putting trades and then you are stopped out, and then immediately you put another trade, and there you're like, damn, hitting the desk, or just like having this like stress in trading. If you have someone that can help you with that and give them the authority, all right, if you see me in this state, it's time for you to just pull the plug, right? Shut the breaker down, the main breaker of the house. So there is no internet, there is no nothing. Okay? You will be in a huge advantage. That guy right next to me could have saved me $30,000. Oh, sorry, $40,000, because I was losing $10,000. Yes, it was going to be bad, but it was not going to be catastrophic like it was, okay? Because I was trying to recoup those +5, +3, break even, -5, -10. Okay? So accountability, I do agree. People that have someone that can help them in this regard, they don't have to be a trader. They don't have to be a trader. It can be anyone that you know that is with you or have some power. I think you can make it faster, right? And with some orientation, like challenging your belief system, learning how to mold yourself towards being a trader. All right, so Ashley, look, now I'm challenging your beliefs, because I'm challenging your belief of the tools that you refer to. I'm saying that you don't need to have a trader right next to you. I was among traders. I am a part of a trading group called Gapat. Okay? We all trade together. But they didn't have authority over my trading. They didn't have the authority. So you have to give them the authority. You have to give them the password of your account. I know it sounds like, all right, I'm not a kid. I can do it myself. And if you can, then that's fine. That is fine. Okay? But I will tell you that probably will take you longer, because your ego does not let you to rely in other people to do this thing. And I agree. I'm not 100% sure that you won't make it without help, right? Probably there are people that can make it without help. It certainly wasn't my case. I needed a lot of help from books, from family, from my trading partner, you name it. Okay? That's why I want to provide for you guys whatever my experience was, and it still is today. Yes, explain, but So I have a lot of stories because I've been trading for 5 years, and whatever you put in the chat, I might have a story for it. So there are a few daily loss limit that can help you and cannot. For instance, Ninja Trader has a daily loss limit, right? Where you set up a daily loss limit, but it won't close your position, right? So I remember this day as fresh as it was now. I wasn't in during the pandemic, and I was trading my account. I went long in the ES, and I went long, and I was almost reaching my daily loss limit. It wasn't much by the time. It was probably like $500, and then I was like probably like 460 minus 460. And what I did is like I deleted, I closed my my stop loss order, right? Give me 1 second. So what I did is that I took my stop loss order, and I was minus 2,500 probably. And I have this, I mean, I have the recollection, because I think every situation in trading is important, right? It's important not only because they can traumatize you, and certainly I've had some traumatizing moments in trading, but you can learn off of these experiences too, right? So I took the order off, and I was like cheating my daily loss limit put by the broker, right? Even though I said, I send them an email, look, I don't want to lose more than $500, and they tell you, yes, if you have a realized loss of $500 or more, then yes, you're locked out of the account. Or I kept the position up to like minus 2,500. It recovered a little bit. Probably I ended up losing like $900 off of the lows. But if you have a tool where it can lock you out when you hit certain amount of money that you lost, and there's no way for you to trick that, to change it, to modify it. If you have a funded account, that you can set those limits on Rhythmic, but you can go ahead and change them in real time, and then your account will be back on, ready to trade, right? So having a person that do the action and help you to get up from your desk not only cut your losses, right, but also makes you realize in the situation that you're in. I don't know if you guys follow me. Becoming aware, really aware of what you're doing, is the most important thing that you need to do. Becoming aware that you are in the wrong state of mind to keep trading, and I sound like I'm professing, but I don't want to sound like that. I want to just talk to myself and tell myself, look, if you're not in the right state of mind, there's no point for you to trade, because you're not making the right decisions. Your way to see the markets is biased, right? Your way to see the markets is biased towards your belief system, right? Or whatever mental state that you have any given moment. This is another thing that is very common in my I don't know if I want to say my mind or my behavior, is that I have a very thorough routine, right? I want to change this. I don't want to be vulnerable to say, I don't want to be vulnerable to a point that if I don't perform my routine, then I will have a bad day. Okay. I don't want to just put all the weight in. All right. If I did this in my routine and I did it perfect, then I will have a good day, because I have done my routine to the letter. Like I follow it to the letter and I've had terrible days. So there's no correlation of me having the perfect routine and the perfect day. No, I think it's more like something that prepares me mentally. Okay. But in the same way, I don't want to be so dependent to my routine that if I don't do the perfect routine in the morning, then I will have a bad day, because that's guaranteed that we'll have a bad day. Um, so, so here's the thing. This is curious, but this is my experience. When I have bad days, usually is preceded by me thinking negative thoughts. And this is one thing that I need to work on big time. And I'm going to start to do some research, because sometimes thoughts come suddenly to your mind, right? I don't know if you guys agree with me, but sometimes I'm thinking one thing and then suddenly one thought just comes through my mind, right? I didn't plan it. I didn't think like it. It just came, right? So because I journal, number one. And number two, I've developed this skill of metacognition, right? To pay attention to my thoughts from a third point of view, in order for you not to for me not to be so affected, because you can have like thoughts that are so negative that you can be affected even if you didn't plan them, right? If you believe those thoughts, then you can align your actions towards those thoughts, right? And what if I tell you, and this is how the mind works, what if I tell you, don't think about a pink elephant? What are you thinking of right now? Just tell me. Please type in the chat if you did thought about the pink elephant, right? So that's how the mind works. Yes, that's how the mind works. If you're driving and you say, I don't want to crash with this car, I don't know why, you end up crashing with the fucking car, right? Or doing some stupid things, right? So everything starts here, right? And sometimes thoughts come suddenly without you planning them. And one common thing that I'm starting to see is that when I have a bad day, right? My thoughts were not positive. Were those thoughts that were telling me, all right, before like years ago, I used to have so many bad days that I would think the opposite. I would think, oh, today is going to be a good day. There's a chance I might be lucky and have a good day. Now that I have a lot of green days, now I have these thoughts that, oh, it might be a bad day today. Okay? You're going to screw it up today. After a few days in a green, right? After a few days just doing the right thing, then your core belief, your belief system that is ingrained there since you were a kid, 5 years old, they're very deep into your subconscious mind. They kick in and they start producing these thoughts like, oh, today might be the bad day. If it's not today, it's going to be tomorrow. So there's always a latent risk of you losing the 40K again. Okay? So that's why, in part, I wanted to do this job today, because I need to reinforce myself. I need to refeed my subconscious mind with the positive belief, the belief that are aligned towards me being 8-figure trader. Okay? I don't know if you guys have any question before I go to this guy. Mark Douglas. If you see the live stream that I have that I had last week, right? He created a system towards becoming a profitable trader, right? But the profitable trader system that he has is basically challenging your beliefs with facts. Okay? How do you do that? I did it the last week. I think is a good opportunity for me to just repeat that process. And it goes like this. So if you have a profitable system, like, you have to start from there. You have to start from, I do have a profitable system. You tried it on Sim with fake money, and you were able to produce returns, right? You grew an account from $5K to $10K, or $20,000 to $30,000, you name it. You put the goal, you create the system, right? There's no time frame. There's no limitation of time. It's you created a system that is profitable, okay? So the starting point is you have a profitable system. If you don't have a profitable system, you have to go back to that level, okay? Sim trading, create a profitable system, and then you can go to this stage. I understand that people get desperate in a sense that they want to go to real money without a proven strategy. A lot of people get desperate is because I think the majority of the mainstream media and YouTubers, they just see trading as if it was a easy thing to do. I do see it the other way. I think it's a thing that requires a lot of work, but you can be happy in the process, okay? If you are oriented the right way. So if you have a profitable system, the way to do this, the way to challenge your belief system is, all right, you have these rules. And for the next 20 trades, he says 20 trades, I would say like probably 30, 40 trades is better. The more, the better, but that's okay. He says 20 trades. He is the expert. So you have 20 trades, and you go ahead and execute the trades regardless of how you feel, regardless if you doubt the outcome of the setup. If you have all the conditions for the setup, you need to take the trade, right? With real money, right? So you commit an amount of money. Let's say $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. You put them on. You put the amount, right? But you need nowadays with micros, you don't need to commit $5,000. Like when he wrote this book, probably you needed more money. Now you need less money. So you can practice with real money and less money, whatever you couldn't do like 10, 15 years ago. All right, so you take those 20 setups, without hesitation, risking the amount of money that you need to risk, and try to evaluate your feelings, right? So in those 20 trades, the system can or cannot make money. That doesn't matter. Do you prove already that is a profitable system? Now you're proving yourself, right? You're proving yourself ready to trade that system. So you take those 20 trades, and in each of those trades, you need to reevaluate yourself. How do you feel? What are your emotions? How do you react towards those emotions? Right? Let's say you had a trade, but you didn't believe it was a winner, right? It was going to be a winner. So, but you were hesitating. I don't want to take the trade, but you had already aligned everything. And I've done that in the live streams. You can see that sometimes I say, look, this trade doesn't smell good. I don't think it's a good trade, but everything is telling me, like the dollar is in position, like tick chart and ADQD is in position. Is the supply is high quality, so I need to take it. I think this thing is very bullish, but I need to go ahead and execute, right? And when you make those decisions, right, you will have winnings and you will have losing trades. But when you have those winning trades going against your perception, against your belief, but following the plan, those core belief systems that you had are going to be challenged. And you will start to see the markets in another way, in a more probabilistic way, right? Because what you're watching is statistical. You're watching the past and you're trying to predict the future, which is a mistake. We are not in the business of predicting. We are in the business of making money. How do you make money? Executing your plan. You have a plan that is profitable in a large number of trades, let's say 500 trades, let's say 1,000 trades, right? That would probably take you a year. All right, so you need to evaluate your system in a year, not in 2 weeks. Okay, so you execute without hesitation, and then when you win, you start to challenge your belief system, and you start to believe in yourself, not in the market, not in if it's volatility or not volatility. You start to believe in yourself. You start to believe that you can actually make it. Okay, and that's how you can improve your trading. Okay, after those 20 trades, if your emotions were in check, not diminished, the emotions are going to be there. If you're a human being trading, which I think the majority of us are, if you're a human being trading, you cannot get rid of emotions. You will feel the emotions, right? But you need to understand those emotions are just the end result of you perceiving some things that are not real. Me saying I think this setup is not is me saying I don't trust this setup is a little bit like sixth sense or intuition. I know you can develop intuition, but I would like more rely on the data. Okay? If everything is aligned, you have to execute, right? That way, you can take advantage of the randomness of the market, right? And not trying to pursue a winning trade. Because one winning trade, if you try to see this business in a trade by trade basis, you are setting up for failure. I've showed in the past. I don't have time now. I need to go in 3 minutes. But my edge wonk, you can go and check my videos. And if you guys are interested, just shoot me an email. Or you can go to I have the edge wonk link in my descriptions. You can see my performance every day, right? Once I log my trades, you will be able to see them. Okay. So edge wonk has this feature of a Monte Carlo forward simulation. Okay. And sometimes I get challenged by that, because in that forward simulation, Monte Carlo forward simulation, right? That's a mathematical formula that works with my statistics, right? With my trading performance to tell me how I am going to perform if I keep performing the same way, right? And the simulations are, fluctuation in statistical data from my trading. So I could have up to 12 or 13 losing trades in a row. Consecutive losing trades. 13. Could you imagine that? Last week or 2 weeks ago, I had like 6 losing trades in a row. I was like, damn, what the fuck is going on? Right? When you're down in that pit, you start doubting. Even me, after years doing this, I start doubting, like, damn, what the fuck? I'm in this losing streak, right? Is that possible? Yeah. If you go to my H1, you will see I could have 12 losing trades based on my statistical data, right? What makes me think that I won't have those 12 losing trades in a row at some point? I will, right? That's a certainty, right? And that certainty make me realistic in my expectations. So what I do, if I have 2 or 3 losing trades, I say, all right, I might be in a way of those 13 losing trades in a row. So what do I do if you ask that question? I diminish my risk. I cut my risk aggressively, 50%, 70%, even to the minimum. What's the minimum size, right? So I can execute and navigate this losing streak, right? Until I start winning again, right? Those are techniques that you learn with experience. If you're desperate to make money, you cannot do that. Because if you lose $1,000, you want to go ahead and risk more money so you can make even more money. Okay? No. Instead, what I do is the opposite. When I'm losing, I just cut my risk. I try not to skip trades. Even though I do skip trades sometimes. If I have 3 losers in a row, just stop trading. Yesterday, I had a terrible read of the market. I wouldn't say terrible, but I had 2 losing trades, right? What did I say? No, this is not the right time for me, right? So those are things that you need to slowly develop. And before I go, because this is a belief system type of live stream, I wanna This is one of the best books I've ever found about beliefs. It's called The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. I don't know if you read it. Yeah, there you go. This is one of the best books to understand how you get molded, how you get trained to believe certain things. There are not necessarily good or bad, but probably are not aligned or in line with being a professional trader. No, when I have several, like I have more than 2 losses, depending on the setup, I I don't cut my size just because I lost the trade. I cut my size more because how I am feeling towards taking a loss. Okay? If I took a loss and I feel okay, I just take another loss. That's it. Same size. But if I start feeling some emotions that can make me react, I am very aggressive in that regard. If I feel like I hate myself because I lost the trade, or I think because I lost $300, I lost all my world, and my dreams of become a professional trader are doomed, and everything that you get that people tells you like it's impossible to be a trader, and your family, you shouldn't be a trader, and your friends, I tried trading but I quit after 3 months. All those things, if they come into my mind after a losing trade, is because I'm not in the right state of mind, right? I'm not able to navigate when you lose. Okay, so overcoming losses is one of the most common things among traders. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Accepting losses, you can say it very easily, but you need to do this type of work that we just did in order for you to clarify, in order for you to have this aha moment. Like, damn, it is so true, right? I can do it, but I need to put the work into it. Like I'm not willing to do the work. Have I? How many of these belief challenging have you done, or have I done? How many analysis from my trades have I done? Am I logging my missed trades? The trades that I see in hindsight but were there and I didn't pay attention? Am I logging them and analyzing them step by step? So one thing that taught me the most, technically, was logging my trades. I would export all my data from Ninja to H1. Guess what? I didn't learn shit. I needed to do it myself, manually, take pictures, analyze, write the story. For me, right? But for you might be different. For me is the dollar here, internals here, I don't know, the dog crossing the street, whatever correlation that you can find, right? EMAs, MACD, RSI, you name it. A bird just flying in front of you and you need to take the trade, whatever you want. But just log things, journal your trades and analyze them, right? The birds and the dog is just obviously a joke, but you need to rely on something, right? And analyze and have a plan. Okay? I don't know if you guys have any question. Yeah, you might find correlations. All right, so if you guys okay, I'm gonna close out this live stream. Let me wrap up this. Please, if you like what I do here, like the video, share so we can grow the channel and help more people. Like I say, my intention here is help myself helping you guys, okay? I am certainly taking advantage of this experience. I learned a ton just preparing these videos and trying to do this for myself and for you guys, okay? Thank you for being here. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Ashley, Explain, Rich. Thanks. See you guys on Monday, 9:10, okay? Bye. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy.